Hello there, folks. Today I have, you've seen this saw on the channel before. This is my friend's Stihl 361, and he has asked me to port this chainsaw, and so today I'm going to tear it down and hopefully get it to the point where I can get some timing numbers, and we'll get started tearing it apart and see how it looks. I don't know how many hours are on this saw, but it's a pretty good clean example, and let's see how far we get. Couple of things there. Oh, it's a little bit dirty after I ran it the other day, but not too bad. It looks pretty good. All right, we're going to take the muffler off and see what the piston looks like, and we'll get the handlebar off and the top cover off, and we'll see what we've got to work with. Should be, I would imagine it's a nice and clean in the cylinder. It seemed to run really well the other day when I had it running, and on that day I had it running, I mentioned that we had gotten a lot of snow. Well, most of the snow is gone, and a lot of the snow is melted. We've had a little bit of rain and some warm temperatures, and so most of that 30 inches of snow that we got is gone now, and looking forward to when it's all gone and when things start greening up. You know, New York is known for being green, and well, in the middle of the winter time, obviously we're not. So let's see if we can get this handlebar off. And it's funny, I bought a set of T-handle Torx, and I figured, you know, all the common sizes were in there, and because most of them are, you know, although that set was green and black, and of course the set didn't have a T27, so I had to go and buy a T27 because that set just didn't have it. I was surprised, and definitely caught me off guard a little bit, because I expected that it would have been a little bit more complete set. I had T25 and had T30, but no T27. Looks like we got something stuck in here. Let's see what we got. Be right back. I have to get another tool. Okay, I'm back. Just get a little tuning screwdriver to get whatever debris is in that screw out. There we go. Got it. the starter housing off. So this is going to be the first time I've ever ported a saw. I've worked on saws and you know, brought them back from the dead, but I have actually never ported one before. So this is going to be new for me, and you know, hopefully it goes well. Looking forward to it. When my friend called me up and said that he wanted me to, you know, to port this saw, I was happy and really excited because, oops, gotta get this spark plug out. Because it's just something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I've watched a lot of guys on YouTube that do it, and I just thought that I'd like to try it sometime, and well, it's going to be on a Stihl 361. So pretty exciting. All right, now let's see here. We get down into, see if we can get this intake off. Just trying to I'll tell you that, ow, that hurt. I don't know what that thing does, but it scratches your finger. This is taking forever. Hold on. Okay, so back at it. Gonna use a little bit of power tools here. There we go. Other screws in there. So I can see. There we go. Okay, a couple more pieces off. All right, let me see. I gotta grab some needle nose pliers. There we go. Let's see. Well, I drained the tank, and I even ran it after I drained the tank, and it still had gas pressure, and it sprayed all over me. Oh well, that's how it goes. Have to get that off of there somehow. Can't see. There we go. Trying to get the throttle linkage off of the carburetor here is being difficult. There we go. There's carburetor. All right. Oh yeah, Piston looks fantastic on the intake side. And on the exhaust side, the exhaust side looks really good. Here, I'll get you off the stand and I'll show. Actually, I just thought about it. I really don't need to show what it looks like inside, because since it is my first time, and my I don't know if my lack of confidence or anything, but we bought an aftermarket cylinder and piston for it, so that if I mess up an aftermarket cylinder or piston, it won't cost as much as an OEM. So I'm just going to take this cylinder off and the piston off, and then I'll be able to put the new piston in and the new cylinder on. We'll bolt it down and I'll be able to get the timing numbers. Okay, so let's start getting that cylinder off of there. Boy, those are on there tight. So it's, I just would rather not mess up an OEM cylinder and piston on my first time, porting a chainsaw. So we just thought it would be a good idea to have something to test. It's not that I don't think I could do it. I just, just in case. And so we're going to get this off of here, and then I'll take a few things off and we'll compare the OEM cylinder with the aftermarket one. Oh, I gotta get that intake boot off of there. Okay, hold tight. Okay, so here's the OEM cylinder and the aftermarket one. This is a little bit different right here at the impulse line, but I don't think it's anything that's going to cause any major problems. This fin here is a little shorter than that one, and the casting just doesn't look quite as nice as the OEM. It doesn't look too bad. There's the exhaust port on the OEM saw or cylinder, and there's looks pretty good. And here's the exhaust port on the aftermarket cylinder, and they look very similar. I think the exhaust port on the OEM one is a little bit bigger, but we can take care of that when porting. And here's down inside, got a little bit of carbon buildup in there, but there you can see the transfers, the lower transfers and the upper transfers. Looks like it was a pretty well oiled saw, and looks pretty good. And here's the aftermarket. Yeah, the ports look similar. Definitely gonna need some grinding, but I think it'll do pretty well. Okay, so I got the circlips out. I wanted to do that off camera just because I needed a lot of hands and things to get to that, and I wanted to make sure I knew where they went if they came flying out. Now let's try to get the wrist pin out. All right, try to get this wrist pin out of here and be able to get the piston out. There we go. The piston and wrist pin. Piston looks good, no scores. Little bit shiny down here on the skirt of the intake side, but not too bad. Looks pretty good. And you know, in comparison to the aftermarket one, the aftermarket one is a tiny bit taller, not much, only probably a few thousandths, but the windows in the OEM one is just a touch bigger, but I can, you know, we can take care of that when we go to port the saw. We can clean up the windows and yeah, who knows, maybe even take a little bit of weight out of it. The aftermarket piston is got much thicker webbing here on that connect the skirt to where the wrist pin is, but overall they're very similar, and they you know, just redneck weight here. They feel about the same, yeah. So this would be, we're gonna get this new the new piston in, and I'll get the new cylinder bolted on, and then we'll be able to get some squish numbers. Okay, so let's get some parts here. Parts. New wrist pin. Now the new wrist pin is obviously same diameter, but much thicker. It looks like, you know, Stihl lightened up theirs. They put a taper on it. You know, where the rod, you know, is attached, it's thick, but on the edges it's thin, and this one is just thick all the way around, or all the way from one side to the other. But that's okay. We'll I'm sure that will be fine. We'll be okay, even if it is a little bit heavier. It'll be fine. And let's get the OEM bearings out. Put that on there, and we'll slip the new bearings in, and we'll see if we can get this piston in. Come on. New wrist pin didn't want to go in. There. Okay, that's in there, and I'm not going to bother putting the circlips in for now, because I'm going to take the piston out and work on it. But now we can put the piston or the cylinder on, and we'll be able to. I'm not gonna run a base gasket on this build, and you know, we'll just use Moto Seal, and so we'll see where we get with our timing numbers. All right, that's in there. I must have one screw still. I hate it when you put stuff down and you can't find it. So I'll have to, give me a minute and I'll find that other. Actually, I only need two. We'll get this. Get these put in here. Now I've done woodworking for a really long time, and I've seen people do using timing wheels and things for a really long time, and I always thought to myself, you could use a digital angle gauge, and because I use them all the time in the wood shop. And then Dino Joe came out with his little setup for using what's called a Wixie, and a digital angle gauge, and he puts the drill chuck on it, and it was just the greatest idea. And I always thought that would be good for working on a saw, something like this, and it's just a great idea. And I don't know who came up with the idea first, but I saw it. I've seen it many times on Dino Joe using them, and I always thought that it would work really well, and so I built one and just used the digital angle gauge that I use in the wood shop. Thanks.